I'm Stephen Drabicki, and I'm here in Austin performing in a show called Tribes. So in the play, there's a hearing family, and they have a deaf son, and they shunned it. They didn't want him to be deaf. They tried to ignore it. They tried to just raise him as they did the other kids. And then finally, he reaches a breaking point, and he tells them, "You've raised me wrong." My parents found out when I was about 4 years old that I had severe hearing loss, and so I've worn hearing aids ever since I was 4. Oftentimes you win an Oscar for portraying a disability when there's actual actors with that disability out there who are talented, who get overlooked because they're not a big enough name, or because able-bodied people are too scared to give them a chance.
So I decided in about 2012, came up with the idea of visual voice when I was interpreting for a friend of mine's band, and I was doing music interpreting. And it was a little short run with that because it was fun, but then I saw deaf people doing it, and I thought, when you really see deaf people doing it, it's much more powerful. So then I thought, there's so many better people than I am, I'm gonna have them do it and really spotlight them. So one of the things that is very important to me with this business is making sure that I always have deaf people involved. I pay them first. I've done many shows where I pay the interpreters and I don't pay myself, because it is most important to me to know that we are doing this with them and not for them, and that this is for both of us.
We try to fight the stigmas that are out there and the misconceptions about us. You know, people think we're disabled and we can't do anything, but no, we want to show them that we can do whatever we want. We can do whatever we put our minds to. This year's a little bit better. I mean, of course, some of the challenges that I have as an actor are some of the challenges I face every day. If I'm not looking at a person's mouth when they're speaking, it's really unpredictable whether I can understand what they're saying or not. So I really like to be able to see people, of course, and if it's dark, then that poses another challenge. If I don't have my hearing aids, because they don't always work. Sometimes they're not there. And even if they are there and they are working perfectly well, nothing's going to make my hearing perfect. So I really hope that other actors and directors, as well as just people in everyday life, are just patient with me. Why cast a hearing actor who pretends to be deaf when you can actually hire a deaf actor who's going to be 1,000,000 times better at the role than someone just putting on, gimping up for the role. We don't put on blackface anymore. We hire African American actors. We hire, Japanese actors, or whatever the role calls for. So why is this different? Why is this not taken as seriously as it should be?
The community is very small, even here in Austin, where there's a large deaf population. by, and there's a couple of, let's just say, weekly or monthly things going on. Like I mentioned, Nerd Night is now interpreted every Nerd Night. There's a show called Mortified. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's people reading their diaries from when they were young. That now is interpreted almost every show. And I'd say that just overall, it's slowly it's kind of a grassroots thing. It's quiet. Within the deaf community, it's starting to be known, but slowly there's just more things. More deaf people are coming here asking for interpreters, and where they want to see is where we start, and then we start spreading out into so it's sort of slowly building. But I think that, so like I said, some of the weekly shows, monthly shows are starting to be regularly interpreted, which I love. You don't have to think about it anymore. You just know you can go to a show and it'll be available to be seen, which is cool.